All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. I hope everybody turned their clocks back. You know, I didn't turn my clock back, but I have an iPhone, so it turned it back for me, or turned it ahead for me. So
I was going to say it's forward.
Turned it ahead for me. So here, I invite you to stand up. We're going to do Song in My Soul. 1, 2, here we go. There is a song in my soul, it sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings I am whole. There's a song in my soul, it sings I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings I am whole. I am whole. There's a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. There's a song in my soul, it sings I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. I am healed, I am healed, I am healed, I am healed. I am healed, I am healed, I am healed, I am healed. There's a song in my heart, it sings I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. There's a song in my heart, it sings I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. I am loved, 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 I am loved. I am whole,
I am whole.
I am healed,
I am healed.
I am loved,
I am loved.
I am joy,
I am joy.
I am whole,
I am whole.
I am healed,
I am healed.
I am loved,
I am loved.
I am joy,
I am joy.
I am peace,
I am peace.
all is well,
I am well.
all is well,
All is well. All is well.
Thank you.
Good morning, Unity Spiritual Center. And congratulations to all of you who remembered to set your clocks ahead because you're here on time. And for those of you who watch this on tape because you didn't set your clocks ahead, we miss you and we will see you next week. And I also want to say good morning to everybody joining us online, to Donna Marie, to Andrea, Christine, Victor, and Christine again. Chris, we are so glad you are here with us online, and want to say to everybody else who's watching us online that you now can become a virtual member of Unity Spiritual Center, even if you do not live anywhere near us or cannot attend. Just sign up on our website, on our app, and we will get you the necessary information. A class will be forming shortly. And for those of you who want to become members that are here in the congregation today, if you're not already a member, classes will be starting later this spring. So just put that in the back of your mind. All right, I know we have some people here for the very first time. Welcome. We are so glad you are here with us today. And we want to say to you, welcome home. And we want you to know that we see you. We see your hopes, we see your dreams, we see your struggles, and we see your light. And we are here to provide a safe place for you to grow spiritually, to seek community, to learn new things, and who knows what else. We are glad you are here with us, and make sure I get a chance to talk to you after the service if I have not already talked to you, or even if I have. We can talk some more. All right, so if you, I said that. If you are joining us online, drop something in the chat so I can say good morning to you, because otherwise I don't see you if you don't say something in the chat. So we're glad you're here. All right, our social media check-in today as we start a new series for the spring is Awakening to Wholeness. So you can check in with that, put it on your social media. Once you have done that, please put your phones on Do Not Disturb. And you can keep them out because the notes for the lesson and everything are in the app as always. And you can add your own notes. I won't see them. Nobody will see them but you. So you can take your own notes during the lesson and read it again if you want. All right, there is a lot happening here at Unity Spiritual Center. And we're gonna have a few more announcements today than usual because some of our weekly events are changing days and times. So listen carefully. And if you don't catch it listening, you can go to our website, you can go to the church app, you can go to our Facebook page. It's all right there, or read the e-letter. First of all, today at 5 o'clock, breath work will be done with Andrea here in the sanctuary. We are starting a new thing called Helping Hands, where we will be assembling food boxes for people here in the neighborhood that yes, you can applaud that. And applaud our women's group because they are the ones who put this together. So we will be working with Heights Helping Hands starting at 9 o'clock, taking donations and then assembling the boxes for families to pick up. All right, where are we? That's Tuesday night. Tuesday also at 6:45. 6:45? 6:30. I have 6:45 here. Anyway, is Reiki night. Wednesday, our friends Armand and Angelina return. So be here. It's going to be a blast. They have a new show. It is Midweek Mindful Merriment and something else that I can't remember. Do we have it up there? Message and merriment. It's a lot of fun. It's family friendly, and you don't want to miss it. Also, Wednesday is Friends Day at 12 o'clock in the community room. Anybody who wants to come and just hang out, we have board games, we have puzzles, we have coffee, we have tea. There's usually some food, and it's a blast. There was a whole bunch of people this last week for the very first one, and you all had fun, I could tell. Contemplative gathering is Thursday at 3 p.m., not in the evening now, at 3 p.m. And if you have not registered for the adult rally, be sure you do so. It's on March 28th. It's all day that day from 9 o'clock until the evening, 4 o'clock. Lunch is provided. You will get to experience everything our youth experience when they go to our YOU rallies around the country. So there will be family groups, there will be workshops, there will be some music, there will be food, of course, and you get a t-shirt. So you don't want to miss that. It's a lot of fun. I know I'm looking forward to it. All right, and I don't think we have any babies here in the congregation today. No? Okay. Just so you know, if there are babies in the congregation, since we don't have a nursery, they are more than welcome, and we don't mind the noise. That is the sound of life happening, which we celebrate. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to invite up our trustee of the day, Susan Shelton.
Good morning. Rob is my trustee trainer today. All right. Let's start with, we're going to do our mission, vision, and core values. Let's start with our mission. We inspire spiritual growth through honoring many paths, education, prayer, sacred service, and abundant living. And our vision, centered in love, we see our harmonious world of divine expression. And our core values, we are Christ-centered, loving, inclusive, joyous, uplifting, open-minded, and fun. And our unity credo, we believe all people are created with sacred worth. We serve all people in emotional and spiritual ways. We welcome the diversity of all God and unity, leave no one out. And now it's our time to share with ways to give. We can do that, of course, in person right now. There's also the church app. And you can also go online to uscabq.org/give, or you can give by text at 877-856-7914. We'll do our offering blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Everybody smiles in the same language. A smile, let your light come shining through. That curve at the corner of your mouth sets everybody straight. Let your smile illuminate the view. Everybody smiles in the same language. Everybody wins with a contagious grin. A smile doesn't cost you anything, but there's so much good that it brings. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody smiles in the same language. Smile, let the light come shining through. The curve at the corner of your mouth sets everybody straight. Be bold, be beautiful, just be you. Be bold, be beautiful, just be you. Be bold, be beautiful, just be you. Everybody smiles in the same language. Everybody smiles in the same language. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and if you'll join me in doing our prosperity dedication. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all the needs and desires of Unity Spiritual Center and those we serve are bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good is here now. Thank you, Spirit.
Susan and Rob, and it's time for a congregational song, so I invite you all to stand up. We're going to do what happens to be the women's theme song, but it's a great song for everybody. It's called How Could Anyone Ever Tell You? How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Let's do that again. How could less than whole. How could anyone fail to notice that your love is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here, to see all of you. My name is Ellen Kajikawa. I am your prayer chaplain along with Sue Hauser for today. And if you need prayer after the service, you can see either one of us at either end of the sanctuary. Or if you prefer, there are prayer slips in the pockets on the seat in front of you, and you could put that in the box in the foyer, and the prayer chaplains will pray for it. Thank you.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very room.
The word of the day is wholeness. Wholeness is my true nature. I am vibrant and strong. My true spiritual identity, the I am who I am, is the source and catalyst for my healing, reestablishing wholeness. As I turn to this inner presence to reaffirm my wholeness, I find that I have been seeking is already present within me. I relax into this place of love and light and rediscover everything I need for healing. Life, wholeness, and health are fundamental aspects of my true nature. At the core of my beingness is eternal truth. Wholeness is my natural state. It is a divine attribute. I am unlimited spiritual life and power. When I tap into my divine essence, I feel energized and revitalized. Reestablishing wholeness in the outer realm begins with an inner unfolding of life, health, and wholeness. It is a satisfying journey into the truth of what I am. Wholeness is my true nature. I am vibrant and strong.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away is in this very room. All right, Diana Hughes is here. All right, we have a real pretty song called "Start All Over Again."
Take a step back, turn around, look at the world that you've let down. My, such a disgrace. The damage is done, you can't replace it. These are the things your mind will tell you. These are the things your heart will say. These are the We're going to start over. Since the name of the song is You Can Start All Over Again, because I love these lyrics. And I just messed them up. So we're going to start all over again.
Here we go.
This being human thing, man. Take a step back, turn around, look at the world that you've let down. My, such a disgrace. The damage is done, you can't replace it. These are the things your mind will tell you. These are the things your heart will say. These are the thoughts that leave you hopeless. These are the times you say there is no way, no way, no way. But as long as you are breathing, you can start all over again. If your heart's beating, you can start all over again. Goodbye, sorrow. You can start all over again. Hello, tomorrow. You can start all over. Wake up to the perfect sun. The long night is over. A new day has begun. Oh, yes. Dare to believe mercy flows in the morning. Your spirit is set free. These are the things your mind can tell you. These are the words your heart will say. These are the thoughts that leave you fearless. These are the hands that point the way. But as long as you are breathing, you can start all over again. If your heart's beating, you can start all over again. Goodbye, sorrow. You can start all over again. Hello, tomorrow. You can start all over. Everything can change. Behold, all things are new. The impossible is here, and it's crying out for you. Everything is gonna work out right, just like we knew it would. There's a miracle in the making, yes, and it's working for your good. As long as you are breathing, you can start all over again. Your heart's beating. You can start all over. sorrow. You can start all over. Hello, tomorrow. You can start all over.
All right. Thank you, Diana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diana and Soul Shine Band. Yes. And yes, you can start all over again. That's a lot of what we're going to be talking about. I almost think you did that intentionally. Sure you did, right? Yes. Because today we begin a new spring series called Awaken to Wholeness, a Spring Reset. Just like we reset the music, we reset ourselves. And I love that phrase, a spring reset, because a reset does not mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're defective. It means, okay, I am ready to reconnect with what's true. So a reset is what you do when the system freezes, for all you computer geeks out there. You know, Control Alt Delete, you reset everything. And let's be honest, there are times when we all feel a little bit frozen. That was supposed to be after a hard winter, but it didn't. But there are those times when we feel a little frozen in life, not just emotionally, but sometimes spiritually, sometimes physically. Like life has been too much for too long, and something in us has just tightened up so we could just make it through, especially with what's going on in our world today. Those feelings rise up a lot because I hear you guys talk about it. But we're here today to do a reset and to start with an affirmation, a truth that never, ever, ever changes. You are not broken. You may be tired. You may be tender. You may be grieving. You may be anxious. You may be in pain. You may be carrying stress that has stress. But you are not broken. And if you hear nothing else today, hear this. The goal of this series that we're doing for the next 4 weeks is not to fix you. There is nothing to fix. The goal is to awaken to the wholeness that has always been true. The seed, when it's in the ground during the winter, doesn't hate itself. It knows that its time is coming. It knows that in the dirt, in the soil, it is doing what it is supposed to be doing in that moment. And the truth is, it will spring forth in the fullness of time. I remember talking to a fellow minister not too long ago. We were talking about spring, and he said, spring is one of the best sermons Spirit has ever taught. I like that, because the seed does not need to be shamed into being a flower. Imagine you're a seed, and you're in the ground waiting for spring, and you're going, wow, I'm really failing at being this sunflower stuff right now. No, the seed is doing what seeds do. It's held in darkness for a time, and then the warmth comes, the sun shines, the shell begins to expand and crack, and something that has always been inside of it begins to emerge. Not because the seed finally got worthy, but because that's what it is. So the first spiritual truth we're going to build on in this series is this: your wholeness is not something you have to earn. It is something you remember. You know, we make a big mistake in our lives. We confuse conditions with identity. Anybody ever done that? Yeah, I bet we all have at one point if we're really honest. Now let me ask that again. No, I won't. That's one of the main reasons we suffer. We take our current conditions, whatever they may be, and we make it our identity. We say, I am experiencing depression, and it becomes, I am depressed. I am feeling anxious becomes, I am an anxious person. I am struggling becomes, I'm a mess. I made a mistake becomes, I am a mistake. Thank God you don't do that. Thank God I don't do that. The difference is, I can make a mistake and y'all don't know it. Because I'm not singing it. We could say, I'm going through a hard time, a hard season, that becomes, well, that's just who I am now. The thing is, once we do that, we move from just wanting healing to being stuck in our condition. And by the way, everything we say in this series, while it's about the individual, reflects into the world around us, into the macro. So this is true for our nation. It's true for our world. It's true for our species. We reach a point in life where hopefully, if we wake up, we don't just want healing, we want to be whole. We start wanting a new self. And Spirit isn't trying to replace us. See, I just made a mistake. Spirit isn't trying to replace us, it's trying to reveal the truth of who we are. It's trying to let us become our true self. You know, one of the core teachings of unity is so powerful. It's world-changing when we can get it. When we truly can get it, it changes our world. And that truth is our spiritual nature is of God. We call that in unity the Christ within. The divine life that is present at all times, regardless of appearances, regardless of experiences. What that means is that a condition can be real without it being who you are. Let me say that again, because some of us, myself included, need to hear it again. A condition can be real without it being who you are. Myrtle Fillmore realized this, our co-founder. She realized that this is more than just a nice, feel-good idea. This is literally our core. It's how we started. For those of you who may not be aware, Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder back in the 1800s, was told she had tuberculosis. She was told she inherited poor health and was likely going to die young. And then in 1886, she heard a single statement that changed her whole consciousness. It changed her relationship with herself, with her body, and it woke her up. That statement was, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit illness. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit illness. We believe that God is perfection. God is the principle of wholeness. And if we're the child of that God, we cannot inherit anything but wholeness. Now, I want you to notice, though, what Myrtle did not say. She didn't say when she heard that, oh, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I've never had symptoms. What's tuberculosis? Actually, they didn't call it that in those days. They called it consumption. She said, I am a child of God and I do not inherit illness. That's not denial. That's not bypass. That is a new identity. She anchored her identity in the divine truth, and then she let her life, her mind, her heart, her body start reorganizing around that truth. We tend to get it backwards so often in life. We think, well, I can reorganize everything in my life when I am healthy and whole. No, we create the image, the vision, the awareness, and we plant it in our consciousness that I am whole, regardless of what I may be experiencing in this physical vessel. I am whole. And once we really get that, everything reorganizes around it. In her own telling of her story, she says she spent hours and hours each day in prayer and meditation and healed her body through the power of thought and prayer. And here's the key. Myrtle Fillmore's awakening wasn't just, I can be healed. Because when we say I can be healed, we're saying, well, I can be, but I'm not. She said, I am whole. I am not an inheritor of brokenness. I am an expression of the wholeness that God is. You hear the difference? She's claiming it in the moment. She's claiming it as the only possible truth there is. Now, it took a while for the body to catch up to that awareness, but it did. So today, we are not asking, how broken am I? How broken are we? We are asking, what is true? What is true? There's a distinction here that I love because it keeps us grounded. And that distinction is wholeness is your spiritual truth. Healing is the process of your human experience catching up to that truth. Do you hear the difference there? Wholeness is your truth. Healing is the experience, the process of you catching up to that truth. Another way you could look at it is wholeness is the sunlight, healing is the thaw. Or wholeness is the seed's design and healing is the sprouting of it. So I want to say this, if you're in the process of that, you're not failing, you're thawing. Some of us are sprouting. And some of us are not in the bloom of the season yet. It's still a little early. Some of us are in the root season where we're growing the roots of consciousness. It takes time to grow those roots of consciousness, but everything starts in thought. And that's where the wholeness has to start. You know, when you look at a plant growing, the roots do not look impressive, but they are sacred. And so the time we spend doing this work is sacred. You know, one of the big parts of why broken thinking is so prevalent in our personal lives, in our societies, is because of the inner critic. You sang about that. The inner voice, the inner critic. That's that voice that doesn't evaluate your choices. It attacks your worth. It doesn't say, well, that didn't go well. It says, you didn't go well. It doesn't say, try again. It says, why bother? You're just going to fail anyway. But the inner critic, and get this, is not the voice of God. God will never speak to you with contempt. In fact, Myrtle addressed that when she wrote this. Sometimes we pray to a God outside of ourselves when it is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. The God out there is the God of all the voices we hear, of everything that's wrong, everything that's not right, everything that is broken. But the God in here says, open your mind, open your heart. You are whole, you are complete. I created you perfect. And that's the consciousness we need to focus on. In other words, the healing presence is not a voice yelling at you from the sky like an angry coach. The healing presence within you is steady. It is loving. It is intelligent. It is life-giving. So if that voice in your head is cruel or shaming or condemning, while it may be a familiar voice, it's not holy. It's not holy. And you cannot be whole if you're listening to an unholy voice. Like how I played with the words there? So here's a reframe that I have found that helps a lot. Instead of saying I am broken, how about I am patterned? I am patterned. What if we stopped calling ourselves broken and started saying, well, I'm patterned? Because a lot of what we call brokenness is actually learned coping, nervous system adaptation, survival strategies, inherited beliefs, family conditionings, cultural programmings. Boy, there's a lot of that right now. You are not broken, you are patterned. And the really beautiful thing about being patterned is patterns can change. Patterns can change. And that's why Unity's approach is so hopeful. It's not resignation, it's transformation. Myrtle Fillmore wrote that healing requires a shift from an old mindset to a new one. Notice it doesn't say it requires doing physical things. It says requires a shift in mindset. She also said it was a change of mind from the old carnal mind that believes in sickness to the Christ mind of life and permanent health that changed me. That's not just positive thinking. That's Christ mind thinking. That's consciousness anchored in spiritual truth. Now, Myrtle could be very direct. Anybody in here ever read Myrtle's writings? She could be powerful and direct when she needed to be. She said this, "There's no such thing as disease or incurable conditions. Anything that does not measure up to the Christ pattern of perfection can be changed." Now, let me say this with care. That line can sound intense to modern ears, especially if you're facing a chronic condition or complex condition. So let me put that into more modern terminology. Myrtle was not shaming anyone for having symptoms. She never did that. She's not blaming anyone for being sick. She is declaring prophetically that spirit is bigger than the labels we are given. I'm going to say that again. Spirit is bigger than the labels we are given. She refused to make a diagnosis a destiny, and that is the kind of inner stance we are awakening in this series. So we're going to do a spring reset. Each week we're going to do a practice, and it's in the app if you have the app. If you don't have the app and want it, let me know. But this is something you can do at home. You want to try it right now? Okay. Take a slow breath in and out. You can put your hand on your heart if you want. I won't because I'll hit the microphone. And silently say to yourself, I am not broken, I am becoming. I am not broken, I am becoming. And then once you have done that, ask yourself, what is one true thing about me today? Y'all can open your eyes if you want. What is one true thing about me today? Not 10 true things, not 5 true things, one true thing. Maybe it's, I'm still here. I'm learning. I am loved. I care. I have the presence within me. I am healing, even if it's slow. That's the reset. Because truth is not an argument, truth is a tuning fork. So here's your practice for the week. It's simple and it works. Once each day, do a truth check. Just once. When you notice a harsh thought, especially about yourself, ask yourself, wait a minute, is it true? Is it kind? Is it useful? Does it move me toward wholeness? And if the answer is no, know this. While that thought may be familiar, it isn't faith-filled. Then replace it with something that is truer. Not fake positivity, not spiritual bypass. Instead of, I'm a mess, try, I'm in the process and learning. Instead of, nothing ever changes, how about change is happening? It may be in small steps, but change is happening. Instead of, I'm too much, try, my sensitivity is not a defect. And instead of, I'll never be okay, try, I'm not there yet, but I'm not alone. I have my unity family, I have my beliefs, I have teachings, and I have the Christ presence within. And here's why it matters. Myrtle understood that praying was not asking. Praying was training consciousness. That's what Martina is teaching in her prayer class. Prayer changes our consciousness. We don't ask for things in prayer. We affirm what is true. We don't beg. We accept what is the truth within, the truth of wholeness, the truth of completeness. Prayer is training our consciousness. Myrtle said, prayer is an exercise to change our thought habits and our living habits, because everything starts here. So if you want to change your living habits, you got to start changing your thought habits. Prayer doesn't just comfort you. Prayer reforms you. Notice there was a gap between re and forms. Prayer reforms you. There's a parable that I like to share in lessons like this from India or China, depending on which version you read. This one's from India. There was a water bearer in India many years ago who had 2 large pots. And they were held on a pole that he carried over his shoulders. And every morning he would walk down to the creek and fill the pots and carry them back up to the palace. And then pour them in the different receptacles in the palace. Now, one of those pots had a crack in it, while the other pot was perfect and whole in every way and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream. But the cracked pot always arrived half full because of the crack. For 2 years, this went on, with the water bearer only delivering 1.5 pots full of water to his master's house. And of course, the perfect pot was very proud of its accomplishments. Perfect to the end for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was only able to accomplish half of what it had been made to do. And after 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it finally spoke to the water bearer one day. And it said, I am so ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you. And the water bearer asked, what? Why? What are you ashamed of? And the pot replied, for the past 2 years, I've only been able to deliver half of my load because of the crack in my side that causes all the water to leak out. Because of my flaws, you don't get the full value of your efforts. And the water bearer felt sorry for the cracked pot. And in his compassion, he said, today, as we return up to the house from the creek, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path. So as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming all these beautiful wildflowers on the side of the path, and it cheered him up somehow. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half of its load, and again apologized to the water bearer for its failure. And the water bearer said to the pot, did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the good pot side? That's because I have always known about your flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds along your side of the path, and every day while we walked back, that crack allowed the water from you to water the seeds so those plants could grow. And I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my master's table. Without you, just the way you are, there would not be the beauty to grace this house. So it's okay if you're a crackpot. I heard a thank God back there somewhere. Now, I'm not romanticizing pain. Pain is pain. But I am saying what you think disqualifies you may become part of what deepens you. You are not broken. You are becoming. You know, Myrtle Fillmore had 3 realms in her wholeness practice. She was wonderfully holistic and way ahead of her time. And so her 3 realms were this: daily declare that your spiritual life and world Your mental life and world and your physical life and world are unified. I love that. Because what she's saying is don't compartmentalize healing. Spirit matters, mind matters, body matters. Unity is not an either or, it's a both and, which means if you're praying and going to therapy, great. If you're affirming truth and going to the doctor, wonderful. And if you're meditating and changing your habits, awesome. We never say don't do the outer work as well as the inner. Myrtle always said, go to God first and then go to man as God directs. So Myrtle Fillmore's healing path included prayer, but it also included practical, wise living. She wrote, the body responds to changes of the mind. And when this is truly accompanied by wise living habits, it will be renewed and in every whit made whole. That's not magic, that's integration. So let's integrate this in a time of meditation. I invite you to get comfortable in your chairs and close your eyes and take a deep breath. And allow your shoulders to drop. And allow your attention to come into this now moment. You are here not to fix anything, not to force anything. You are here to simply be here. And as you breathe, imagine it's a beautiful spring day. The warmth of the sun is returning. The ground is beginning to thaw. The earth is softening. And as you notice this, silently say to yourself, I am not broken, I am becoming. I am not broken, I am becoming. Allow those words to move from your head like the sunlight into your body. And now bring your awareness to something you have been carrying. Worry, regret, fear, grief, tension, whatever it may be. Just notice it. Don't judge it. Just notice it. And now imagine holding it in open hands. And as you hold it, you feel a warmth coming from above. You see a light shining upon it from above. And you realize it's the presence of God. It is perfect love. Love that does not condemn, does not shame, does not abandon. And remember the words of Myrtle. It is the God in the midst of us that frees and heals. So breathe into that presence. And breathe out what you're ready to soften. And quietly affirm to yourself, the Christ within me is whole. The Christ within me is whole. The life of God within me is intact. The life of God within me is intact. Nothing real in me is broken. Nothing real in me is broken. Now picture a seed under the soil. It doesn't look like much, but it carries an entire future within it. Let yourself be held like that seed. Safe in spirit, nourished by love, guided by divine intelligence. And now ask, Spirit, what is one true thing about me today? Just one. What is one true thing about me today? And listen. A word may come, a sense, a quiet knowing. Receive it without striving. And now, with gratitude, we say thank you, God, for the wholeness that is my true nature. Thank you for healing unfolding in me now. And thank you for new life rising within me. And now breathe into that. Feel that new life. Feel that wholeness. Feel that healing. Quickening, expanding, like a seed growing up through the soil. Feel that energy. Feel that life. Feel the truth of what that seed is. And as you feel that energy expanding within you, bring it to your outer consciousness. Bring it to the awareness of this room you are in. Bring it to the forefront of your life. When you are ready, bring it with your open eyes and open hearts and open minds to this now moment. So this week, I want you to practice a holy refusal. Refuse to ever call yourself broken again. Refuse to make pain your identity. Refuse to let old survival patterns pretend to be the truth about you. Because you are not broken, you are waking up. You are thawing, you are sprouting. And the spirit that makes spring is at work within you. I'm going to close with one of Myrtle Fillmore's favorite prayers. It was written by a Unity student named Hannah Moore Colehouse. And she would often say this prayer with children, but it works with us adults as well, maybe more powerfully even. It's called the Prayer of Faith. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ the truth that is in me. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear, because God and love and truth are here. That's not denial, that's devotion. That's not pretending, that's anchoring. So let's anchor this together. I'm going to do a series of affirmations, and you'll say them back. My true self is whole. Oh, you guys are getting it, I can tell. I awaken to that truth now. I am not broken. I am becoming. And yes, you are.
Here's a song to water all those seeds you just planted. A long time ago, a million years BC, the best things in life were absolutely free. But no one appreciated a sky that was always blue, and no one congratulated a moon that was always new. So it was planned that they would vanish now and then, and you must pay to get them back again. That's what storms were made for, and you shouldn't be afraid for. Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Just be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade it for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, there must be showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Find your fortune falling all over town. Just be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade it for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, there must be showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
Thank you, Diana.